I'm so happy to be with you. My name is Dr. Jamie Wilkie. I am running our PGX Accelerator video solo today. Delon and Howard are sleeping in, so I'm running the show. And what I wanted to teach you about today is the 5 most common pitfalls pharmacists fall victim to when they're starting a PGX practice. Today's video is going to be short and sweet, but I just wanted to teach you the 5 pitfalls I've seen time and time again with pharmacists who are starting their own consulting practice that really use PGX as the heart of it. The first reason is not feeling adequate, feeling like I'm not enough, I need to know more before I can start helping patients. And this is common for our profession for so many different reasons, but especially within pharmacogenomics, they feel like the science is so far over their head and they've got to have a master's degree or a PhD and multiple residencies in pharmacogenomics before they're qualified to help people in their community. And that is completely wrong. Yes, you have to get the hang of the science and be adept at the science, but the good news for you is most all of you are PharmDs, which is a doctor of pharmacy, so you already have your doctorate degree in pharmacokinetics and pharmacodynamics. So you're so much farther ahead than you think you are. And really, I know when I went through my certification and I got my knowledge up to speed, at first it did stretch my brain and feel really hard. But then you get used to the new language and it really becomes not so hard anymore, especially when you're able to talk it out with a peer who is a couple steps ahead and can really work through the case-by-case scenario with you. I know for me, I learned the most when I was actually seeing patients and actually sitting in front of them with their report, looking at their history, providing a comprehensive medication management consultation. That's when it really hit home, and that's when I learned, was actually by doing it. So the number one pitfall is to not feel like you're enough and to just constantly be in search of more knowledge, but never get out there and help people, to just keep filling up your brain, but never take the first step of action. Number 2, I kind of alluded to earlier, is to not have the professional support, not to have someone who you can ask all these questions to, because as a consultant, you're generally flying solo and you don't have a support group as you do at work where you have mentors and peers who are kind of on the same page as you. When you're working as a consultant, especially as a precision medicine consultant, it's easy to feel lonely and like you have no one to turn to who's an expert who can help you with your highly technical questions. And that is no way to live. It's a great time to be a pharmacist doing precision medicine and having the support of other like-minded pharmacists who are a couple steps ahead of you. So feel free to ask questions and feel free to say, I don't know, will you help me? It's almost been taboo, I feel like, to say I don't know in the past, like you're not enough if you're saying I don't know. But that's what we embrace, is saying, I honestly don't know, can you help me? And to have someone who can help you, who is an expert or who is a couple steps ahead, really opens doors to help you move forward and grow momentum rather than staying stuck or feeling like, I don't know, and I have nowhere to turn to because I am flying solo. So to review, the first pitfall is just feeling like they're not enough and never getting started because they just have imposter syndrome. Number 2 is not having professional support to back you up, to talk out a complex patient case or to talk out what your current situation is from someone who's a few steps ahead, who has been there, done that can help solve your problem in a way that you can't solve yourself because you have your blinders on and feel stuck in the not knowing phase. Number 3 is a pitfall of just not knowing how to logistically manage complex pharmacogenomics results, especially integrating them within an EHR and communicating that with a patient. Pharmacists traditionally have not had to seek out their own software and work on multiple different platforms and try to get them to integrate together. And so it's easy to just stay shut down and wait for the solution to fall into your lap, whereas now is such a great time to be in precision medicine because with telehealth and with so many software platforms out there, there's so many resources that can really help you make your practice smooth and seamless to roll this out if you're just partnered with the right software, the right programs for exactly what you're doing. And It's easy to feel overwhelmed because there's so many programs out there, but just know there's a right one for you that will make your life easier to take so much of the manual work out of what you're doing. Next, another pitfall I see, number 4, we're on number 4 of our pitfalls, is being unsure of how to work with providers, because so many pharmacists feel like they have to convince the prescriber of the value of pharmacogenomics, and it's kind of a battle of proving who's right, or a turf war of who gets to help the patient in this way. So if you feel like you're butting heads with prescribers, that can be a big pitfall. It's really hard to get into these collaborative relationships and into working with practices in a synergistic way if we're just thinking about butting heads and proving ourselves right and showing the data that will then definitely convince them. That's a pitfall, and that leaves you stuck when you're coming at that relationship out of the gate in that kind of interaction where it feels like a power struggle. An alternate way to approach it, and the one that I teach and have found success with myself, is to just come with an open mind to those who you want to collaborate with. And before you start showing articles and white papers and proof that you're right, just asking them questions and understanding who they are, what their problems are, what's unique about their practice, and potentially where you can help, just by listening and understanding that you're doing almost no talking and just hearing them out. That really helps that relationship grow when you first just listen and understand, rather than coming in with your agenda and how you want to change the world and everyone better get on board with you or move out of the way. So we've talked about 4 pitfalls so far: feeling like you're not enough, not having professional support, the logistics of managing a practice that includes complicated pharmacogenomics results and integrating that properly, and successfully working with providers and other healthcare professionals within your community. Last one, number 5, and then we'll let you get back to your morning, is I see a giant pitfall of pharmacists giving up too quickly. That if they first hear a no, then they shut down and say, well, this was a terrible idea. What am I doing? I presented it to, I thought, the ideal client or the ideal practice, and they said no. Therefore, it invalidates everything I've been working on. Failure is a part of the process. And when you can learn from your failures and keep failing forward, that's when you have success. Very few times do you try something new that you've never done before and just get success after success. You often get many failures. And I love looking for failures, because once you fail, you can look at that situation, learn from it, and try again. So I feel like a really big pitfall, and why it's number 5, is because we're so scared of failure and feel like if we fail once, then what we're doing is not right. And if we fail twice or 3 times, then it's really just further proof that what we're doing can't be done. When I see it as the opposite. When you fail and you keep failing and you keep pushing forward and you adapt every failure to make the next one better, where you're better prepared for that next conversation and you've analyzed what went well and what didn't go well and are celebrating the fact that you're getting out there and talking to as many people as possible, that is when you see results. And that is where you can really grow your practice and grow your influence and get people to say yeses once you've had a certain amount of no's, because it's kind of like approaching the scientific method of saying, I wonder how many people I have to talk to before I get a yes, and just going about it very systematically rather than tying failure into this big emotion that hijacks all of our other emotions, that leads us to stop doing what we're doing because our emotions have taken over our actions and have skewed the results. So just to review what we've talked about today, the 5 common pitfalls pharmacists fall victim to when starting their own PGX practice is 1, feeling like they're not enough; 2, not having professional support and a professional network that understands who they are, what they're doing, and they can get them the next step and talk out their current problems. Number 3, logistically being able to manage PGX and that kind of complex level of data and interacting with patients and with different softwares. Number 4, not sure how to approach providers, and so you do it kind of in a head-on combative way that doesn't go well for anyone. And number 5, giving up when you hear the word no and not trying enough and not I'm bumping these last words, and not getting failure and using that as momentum to keep going forward. If you're scared of failure and shut down once you fail, then it's hard to grow, because failure is a part of life. We have to expect failure, embrace failure, and thrive when we fail, because you really can't grow without failing. And so I hope this has been insightful for you today. On Friday, you're going to hear from my two co-founders, Dr. DeLon Canterbury and Dr. Howard McLeod, who are going to share strategies of 3 ways you can leverage PGX that I think you're going to really like their conversation. I know DeLon is way more fun on these live videos than I am, so I'm really looking forward to you learning more on Friday. Last thing to say is, for those of you who are interested by what we're saying and feel like PGX Accelerators is the solution that you're looking for, please like and follow our PGX Accelerators LinkedIn page, where we'll drop all of the newest information, as well as our online application to come and join us. That will be coming soon, so stay tuned. We really look forward to working with you and hope that this has been of value and you've learned some good insights today. Have a great day out there, everyone.